3 minutes after the top of the hour, let's bring in Donald Trump. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yesterday in the 6 a.m. hour, you were out tweeting about it looked like terror. This morning, you have been tweeting in the 5 o'clock hour. We're going to share with some of the folks some of the tweets you have put out already today. First up, you said, look where the world is today, a total mess, and ISIS is still running around wild. I can fix it fast. Hillary has no chance.
And then you also wrote, crooked Hillary Clinton looks presidential. I don't think so. 4 more years of Obama and our country will never come back. ISIS laughs. All right, so why is this resonating with so many voters?
Well, I think they believe me. I mean, we can be politically correct. We can be nice. We can't afford to be so nice and so foolish anymore. Our country's in trouble. ISIS is laughing at us, and they see somebody like Hillary Clinton who, reads off her teleprompter and copies my expressions. I mean, she copied exactly what I said about her. 2 days later, she said the same thing. I mean, come up with your own expressions, but, no imagination. But ISIS, I guarantee you, and China on trade, because you look at what China's doing on trade and building their fortresses in the middle of the South China Sea, which is a violation of everything we stand for and not supposed to be doing it. And Japan and Mexico, and everybody's laughing. They want to have Hillary so badly, you have no idea.
Donald Trump, have you met with military advisors that have told you specifically how to get rid of ISIS quickly in Libya, Syria, Iraq, everywhere?
Well, I met with many people, and recently I met with James Baker, who I have a lot of respect for, and I think of Ronald Reagan when I think of James Baker, as you know. And yesterday, the day before yesterday, I was with Henry Kissinger, and I've met with many, many people, and I have definite ideas, and I'd rather not tell what those ideas are. Because, Brian, I'm so tired of watching these politicians get up and say exactly what they're going to do with ISIS. Right. And in the meantime, ISIS sits back and they laugh and they go out and they prepare for it. You got to hit people with a little surprise. There has to be some unpredictability. I mean, I know we have a system, and it's a political system, and it's wonderful, and we all love it. But for us to go out and say, here's what I'm going to do with ISIS. My first day, and I see Obama doing that. We are sending 50 troops, he says. We are sending 50 troops over to Iraq, and we're sending 250 troops here. And they announce everything. In the meantime, those troops have targets on their back.
And clearly not enough.
Mr. Trump, yesterday Hillary said over on another channel, she said your proposal to ban Muslims promotes terrorism.
Yeah. Is that the dumbest thing you've ever heard? I mean, to me, it's one of the dumber statements I've ever heard. I mean, she is so ill-equipped to be the president.
Why is it dumb?
I just think it's absolutely dumb. In fact, if anything, it's just the opposite, because they're going to have to learn that we can't take this anymore, and they're going to have to turn in the people that are bombing the planes, and they know who the people are. And we're not going to find the people by just continuing to be so nice and so soft. And I have many Muslim friends, and they agree. They have a tremendous problem with the radical Islamic terrorism, tremendous problem. And what she said is so dumb. They are going to have to start turning it. You take a look even at San Bernardino. Everybody knew that they were going to do this attack. There were bombs all over their apartment. Everybody saw the bombs. They knew this was happening, and nobody turned them in. And you take a look at Paris. Everybody knew that what was happening. And by the way, the last person that they were looking all over for 8 months, they found that person living practically where he lived before.
Well,
nobody turned him in.
One of the neighbors had watched things going on in San Bernardino, but didn't want to turn him in because didn't want it to be labeled a racist or a bigot.
That's right. They didn't want to do it because they thought it would be politically incorrect. Right. You know what that is? That's a lawyer, Steve, that goes and said, oh, we got to do something because you're going to be in trouble. You know all about this. So they said, let's not be politically incorrect. The whole thing is so insane. So we're going to have to get very tough and very smart. And Hillary Clinton can never get you there. It's 4 more years of Obama, and this country can't take it.
People are so tired of the political correctness in this country. You're absolutely right. They're also tired of losing their jobs and companies being sent across the border and to other countries. And you have talked so adamantly about bringing coal back to the country or not getting rid of coal jobs. That's hurt Hillary Clinton. And as a result of what happened in West Virginia and how people feel about her with jobs, she's now saying she's going to bring her husband on to run the economy. Listen to this, and then we'll get your reaction.
Okay.
My husband, who I'm going to put in charge of revitalizing the economy, because, he knows how to do it. And especially in places like coal country, and inner cities and other parts of our country that have really been left out.
Right, so why is she doing that?
I don't know. Maybe he'll bring the Energizer with him. Look, he signed
Who's
NAFTA.
the Energizer?
He signed NAFTA. NAFTA is one of the worst trade deals ever made by any country at any time. It has cleaned out our country. It has cleaned out our country of jobs. You take a look at New England, take a look at upstate New York and Pennsylvania, and take a look at Maryland, where I just left, and take a look at every place. We've been cleaned out by the worst bill, economic development bill, or whatever you want to call it, ever. Mexico is taking our jobs. They're taking our factories. Look at what's happening with China. And Hillary likes people, the Trans-Pacific Partnership deal is going to be worse, in my opinion, worse, if that's possible, than NAFTA. And Hillary Clinton wants it. And so does Obama want it. It'll be a total disaster for our country.
She called it the gold standard, but now she says there's problems with it.
Well, no, she wanted it so badly, and now she sees that I'm against it, so she went and studied it, and now she says, oh, maybe he's right. So maybe now she's going against it, but that's only because of me. It will be, by the way, Brian, it will be a disaster.
One of the interesting things, she wants to put her husband in charge of the economy. First of all, the president should be in charge of the economy.
Right, he should run.
But Bill Clinton actually landed on the Time magazine list 25 people to blame for the financial crisis.
Well, it's true. I mean, it is true. It's true for another reason. I know they have one for different reasons, but the reason that really he should be on is that he is the signed NAFTA. He signed NAFTA, and it's the worst deal one of the worst deals we've ever made in this country.
He also pushed the subprime mortgages to people that couldn't afford it, and experienced the boom, which bust under Bush.
And by the way, he was Brian, he was then out of office. So everyone said, "Oh, gee, he's out of office." But he was the one that got that started, and that led to catastrophe.
Don't you think she's saying, I'm going to put him in charge of that because people like him more than they like her?
Well, maybe she's saying that, or maybe she just wants him around the White House so she can keep her eye on him.
Well, possibly. Could be personal. Now, you just made a personal move. We understand that Paul Manafort's been elevated. He's now in charge of the campaign, and he was on Capitol Hill yesterday. What was behind the switch?
Well, really, Corey's done a great job and Paul's done a great job, and I consider them very even and just, very, very different personalities, and they're doing different things. And, the campaign's doing really well. Your poll has us up. Rasmussen just came out. They have us up by 5 points. With the Fox poll just came out 2 days ago. We're up 3 points on Hillary. And I just don't think the country wants another 4 years of Obama. I don't think we can take it.
Paul Manafort says that you can be changed. Your rhetoric can be changed. He evidently told congressional leaders on Capitol Hill yesterday. Is that true?
Well, I don't think we want to change it too much. We're leading. It's like if we're winning and going to the World Series, I don't know if we want to change our lineup too much. So I don't know. I can do what I have to do, but I don't want to really change. Look, I am who I am. We're going to make great trade deals. We're going to have strong borders. We're going to build up our military. We're going to terminate Obamacare and get great health care. And, we're going to do a lot of things. And I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't change too much.
Well, that's a lot of people agree with you. And some people say, maybe a different approach to the general. We'll see. Newt Gingrich is coming up in about an hour. Should we tell him he's on the short list for vice president?
Sure. Why not? He's a great guy. You might as well.
By the way, who else is on that short list?
Well, I'd like to tell you, but you know what? Newt is such a great guy. He's been such a great supporter. And he actually said, he's a fantastic historian. I don't know if you know that, but he actually said that nothing like this has ever happened in the history of our country. It's one of the great phenomena of all time. And I was watching him. I said, really? That's pretty exciting. But he's a tremendous guy.
But he's on the short list, right?
Absolutely. I'll say yes, because he's been such a supporter. I mean, anybody that supports me is on the short list as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that's not a very short list.
Come on. How many women are on that list?
Well, I don't want to say. Look, I'm going to make the announcement during the convention. I hope to be able to keep it a surprise. And
it's going to be a big reveal.
I hope to.
Right?
Some of these conventions, if you remember the last convention for the Republicans, it was not an exciting event.
There was a chair.
We're going to try. There was a chair. And Clint Eastwood's a great guy, by the way. He's a great guy. But I will say that we're going to try. We'll put Clint on the short list. We are going to try and make that convention. Number one, most importantly, really, we're going to make it an important convention, but we're also going to make it a little bit of fun and a little bit entertaining so people can enjoy it. But honestly, far more importantly, we're going to make some really, hopefully, great decisions.
Okay.
All right, we'll be covering it. We'll be there.
I think you will. I have a feeling you may be there. I'm not sure.
We're going to both
We
conventions.
know
I'm
we'll
not
do it at the
sure.
end of July, that's for sure.
I have a feeling
All right,
you
thank
folks
you
are
so
going to be
much.
there.
Great.
Okay.
Great
Thank
to hear
you.
from you.
Thank
All right,
you.
coming up, you want an ice cream cone?